tower, Roshan, and it just kind of works like it's just clockwork pretty much. And there's like a set game plan where you go push a tower. If they fight you, great, then you have a huge advantage. If they choose to dodge you, then you take the tower quickly. You go to the next one. You take Roshan, at which point you feel like they would be forced to engage into you, and you have so much at the pit, and then that would be where you get your advantage mostly. And then after that, you just get the items you do need to break the high ground, and that would be their game plan.
So they do eventually swap back. To clarify, it is Ramses on the Leshrac and Elder Titan in the hands of Roger, of course, instead. So Cuckoo this time will be on Undying. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Tim's playing it the first game for TNC.
Cuckoo.
So was it Cuckoo?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Either way, he is going to be in the aggressive lane. Tim's eye on his Jakiro. They're setting up to run that aggressive tri lane from TNC. So they were the ones getting tri lane last game down here. Now they're the ones looking to do a tri lane themselves. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, because this Leshrac pick would completely destroy the Brewmaster in lane. His main advantage is that he can constantly haze up your right-clicking carry. But Leshrac doesn't really care because he will see us with his abilities. And because he has Split Earth, just paired with one support disable, generally they're able to put a ton of pressure on the Brew, if not kill him if he's not careful. So they're kind of trying to dodge that situation. TNC is really forcing this Undying down like VP's throat, like in the laning phase. It's not something that, you know, you really want. I didn't think that this Undying was going to be that effective unless he was in the safe lane, but I feel like he's going to struggle to find a place here. I think what you do is you leave the Undying in this lane, then you put the Jakiro top, because there's no way that the Brew is going to be, you know, really good. And I was tuning into the EG series during the break, and I did hear Nahaz recall a stat that aggro tri-lanes in this patch, or in this meta in the recent months, only has a 30% win rate for the team that goes aggro tri-lane.
It feels like it's overused, and yeah, I could have just from the eye test, I could have told you that honestly. And it's interesting to hear the numbers almost backing that up. That we see a lot of these teams, not a lot, but several teams really insisting on doing these aggressive trial lanes that don't really work out in the end. So TNC is attempting to do that here, but I mean, right now it's just kind of Elder Titan pushing up Pasha. Now, obviously, he makes his way here, and they send Ramses to the top lane instead. So if you're TNC, do you now react to this? Do you want to deal with that Leshrac, or you just say screw it and commit to this now?
They need to react to this instantly, and then by the look of the reaction so thus far, I feel like they're not even going to attempt to rotate anybody. They're just all in on this situation, except the Brewmaster's in a lot of trouble top, because now that they got level 2 on both of their heroes, it's pretty much impossible to lane, whereas like the Beastmaster and the Elder Titan can kind of just sit and leech experience, and they won't really die unless they put themselves in that position, but they'll just TP back regardless and just get the XP.
Pasha, the Stomp hits. Now the Rocket Barrage was shadowed before, so still doing some good damage. Now comes the Decay right there and the eventual auto attack from Tim's to finish the job. So first blood going the way of TNC as they take out Pasha. That was well played.
He just TP's back now, and generally part of the problem with aggro tri-lanes is that the experience share is just very noticeable on your supports and your carry. The supports feel like outside of the laning phase, if they don't get enough levels, it's very hard for them to transition into the mid game, and it's a lot on the cores. And generally, that disadvantage is offset by the fact that you're a safe laner. That you're usually your 3 position is like having a good lane, because you usually aggro tri-lane so that your offlaner has that lane that he does need to scale ahead. But this situation, he is falling quite far behind. I mean, his levels are fine, but it's going to start to get worse and worse and worse. And once that Leshrac is level 3 and the Bane is level 3, it can become really impossible in the mid lane.
Yeah, I was watching. That was actually just great execution, and you know, you see that a lot with VP feels like. But he slowed. He put the poison stings up on, or not poison stings, but anyways, the poison attack up onto Death Prophet as Elder Titan was coming in with the Spirit to throw out the Echo Stomp, which slowed her just enough to let the Stomp land, and then the eventual chase to finish the job. So not much the Death Prophet could do about that. Armel, by the time he saw it coming, it was already too late. Good rotation though from Roger there on Elder Titan.
Top lane getting initiated on. That's a really easy setup if they can just chase him down.
Now the Thunderclap, slowing him down quite a bit, puts up that Drunken Haste as well. He's juking through the trees. For now, he's alive, solo. Brain Sap in 2 seconds, that would kill him. If he can find him, out comes a split earth, and there's the brain sap to take him out. So they kept committing, and they were right to. They find the Brewmaster.
Yeah. Really nice, and this is the main difference between VP and TNC's game last game, where you saw Tim's on the Leshrac in the bottom lane. He just kept coming back where he had nothing to do, whereas Roger, he's like, I can't do anything there. I'm gonna make pressure somewhere else. And this is the big difference because it makes a huge advantage for a mid laner.
Thinking of that mid lane, no one. He's running away. Spirit Sniper not going to be enough damage, actually. Roger initially poison attack going out, but the Cryptstorm will finish it up at what cost for Amel. Taking the tower damage. Roger decides to go for Tim's instead. Roger trying to make the big play and go for 2, it almost seemed like right there. Rather than just at least getting one of the kills, and it does not. Okay, well, Tim's will actually go down. So Pasha cuts him off as he rotates over. So they're making something out of it. That was a close
rare.
though.
Rare choke by Roger. That was almost certainly a kill in the Death Prophet. There wasn't really a way for her to dodge that because she doesn't even have boots. As long as he plants the Spirit correctly in the Echo Stomp, that will just be one right click, and that's pretty much a kill. But he did try to get a little greedy there. But yeah, like in this game, I'm not as sold on this Leshrac carry and the Viper overall at matchup wise. So I do think it's not going to be, even if VP gets that laning phase they want, it's not going to be as dramatic as the last game.
Ooh, that Echo Stomp just hit Armel. This time no Fairy Fire, no Siphon, and he is dead. Great catch once again from Roger. Armel just cannot avoid these Echo Stomps. We're not even done just yet. A solo in the flank. Looks like he might have been going for the courier kill. Doesn't work out though, and then he'll Nightmare and just run away, but Death Prophet, of course, having troubles in the middle lane. You have a 17 and 13 Viper against the 12 and 9 Death Prophet. And on top of that, the 2 deaths that she's looking at as well. So, but you bring up a point there, Fluff. I mean, this is a Viper Leshrac core. This isn't like a greatest scaling into the late game. So TNC, if they can battle through it, definitely have possibilities to win in that later game. I think is the point you're getting at.
Yeah, their advantage isn't really in the laning phase. All they need to do is get by and get some basic items and levels, more importantly, so they can group up. And if VP ever takes the bait into a bad situation where they run into Tombstone, Exorcism, Brew Split, there is a chance that TNC would get a pretty big advantage off of that.
Top lane, Leshrac. He's by himself. No TP's coming in just yet. Tim's blocking him. Dual breath already used. Slowing him down. Thunderclap as well. The Split Earth only going to do much as far as delaying the inevitable. So rotations on top of that. Raven finds himself up here playing the Gyrocopter. So I just love this tipping game. He even tips his teammate there. Anyways, Nightmare up on Undying. Cuckoo. Roger's running over. Has the Astral Spirit Echo Stomp ready, but choosing not to use it there. Porting in. Falling back. But yeah, could kill Leshrac. And I was going to say, is Leshrac just going to go bottom now? But no, he's actually going to head back to the top lane. Ramsey still wants to fight.
Well, I mean, as long as there are no supports in the lane, he'll be just fine. And now that Bane rotates in, he's pretty much secured with the vision. I do want to point out that a lot of teams, when they're just theory crafting, and this does seem kind of like a theory crafted lineup. Well, hold that thought. TNC is looking to flank top lane.
Well, middle lane, meanwhile, also going down, and once again, the Echo Stomp hits. This time it's after the ultimate from no one, and Crypster and Cypher's not going to work. That Viper Strike slowing down Death Prophet plenty to set up the Echo Stomp. Yeah, they have great setup for the Echo Stomp, the Split Earth. They usually, obviously, they require some kind of setup ideally, and they definitely have it, as we've seen several times now.
You don't normally think of Viper as a great setup for Echo Stomp, but
hey, 3 times now it's worked.
It's pretty significant, like a 25% move slow, even a rank 1 poison attack. That is with no boots, and mid laners generally don't even get boots that early anymore because they value that second CSing item like the double null talisman or something or the other like that. They don't pick up boots very early. Other Titan can get easy stomps with one little slow.
Speaking of boots, Phase Boots just finished on Gyrocopter. How is he doing? Switch over to the net worth now real quickly. Gyro is leading the overall net worth. He's 1-1-1 as CS is, of course, top of the charts with Ramsey's there. He's got to bring it back without the Phase Boots. What item is next? Is this like a drums game? SNY? What are we seeing here, you think?
Probably going to want to get BKB ASAP. I feel like it's justifiable to go for Axe, but I feel like drums BKB would be the best bet because it's nice dodge with the sleep on the bucket.
Well played, yeah. But you're gonna look to turn this.
Ooh, yes, they will.
Split Earth lands. They kind of want to, but again, lacking the lockdown. I mean, Jakiro doesn't even have Ice Path yet, which is pretty usual this early on. So really, TNC has very unreliable stuns right now. Cuckoo's fine.
Well, that's that. But yeah, basically all the damage on VP is magical. You want BKB ASAP because the strength of their lineup is those mid-game fights. And if they take enough of them with the BKB gyro involved, that will be huge.
Oh, Primal Split activated bottom lane. Death Prophet there as well. She does have Exorcism. Something tells me we're going to see that come out for the tier 1 tower push. And there we go. Opening some pressure. Meanwhile, the top lane Undying. Going to be slept up initially. Bane running back though. Realizing pressure's homing missile. Slowly but surely we'll get there. Liquid Fire initially calling out on top of that. Something delivering to Bane in the meantime. He's going to try to live. Puts out the brain zap. Will here for the time being. Roger doing up the extra stuff already. Solo not going to be enough. Thought he could TP out. Roger also going to go for the same play. He is a little bit tankier. And he will manage to get away. Bottom lane. The Nexus is still up, by the way, but they're going to kill Death Prophet. Oh, that was Brewmaster, excuse me. Death Prophet, she just runs away. So she is fine, but they kill Brew and they save the tower. So VP choosing to defend and it pays off.
Wow, really nice rotation. Usually, if you can delay that tower ever, just one time, it's always worth it because that's a huge commitment for TNC. And now that they did defend it in a natural way, TNC is going to have to kind of force that objective at some point. They're going to need to smoke down a couple more heroes to just secure it. And that is Exorcism down for 80. We actually get a stomp off, just a little harass. It looks like no, they're gonna go for the Viper Strike actually. Oh, 6 seconds.
What do you mean? It's the Viper Elder Titan combo, Fluff. That's what we're seeing in this game. Yeah, I mean, what can Unreal do? But he just runs, siphons. It's like, all right, hopefully I live. I mean, he needs a TP in that case, right?
Yeah.
He had one. That's a little surprising, actually. It might have been on cooldown still, but after the stomp, I mean, I figure that's a free TP.
Okay, nicely dodged by Jack Cochran. This is the sixth sense that carries do need to have, is that this lane, it's the first play of the game. Like, Undying had no chance. Every team will assault this tower at one point. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. So
yeah,
the gyro having the foresight to TP, that saves him from the gank, and then now he's able to rotate bottom lane where it's a really nice call down.
Oh, yeah, this could be a big turn. Trying to get the turn on at Bane, but that Echo Stomp saving him for the time being. Rocket Barrage in the face out, however, will indeed finish the job. So an eye for an eye, support for support on either side. Looks like it's also going to be the tier 1 tower, unless Elder Titan can maybe make a clutch play right here, but realizing there's too many heroes, not going to go for it as Roger just stays back. So no one's pushing out middle lane, and no one, we definitely see this on this Viper recently. The Maelstrom build going to be coming out from him. So you were talking about that. I mean, he tends to be, you know, second or first even, and right now he's first actually on the net worth chart with the way he plays this Viper especially.
Yeah. And they're going to need him to carry this game, and Maelstrom's the perfect item to do so, because that will give him the farm acceleration that he does need, and just overall is a very good right-clicking DPS item compared to the kind of the tankier builds a lot of Vipers do go for with Helmet Dominator, or sometimes they just rush the Hood. They'll be a little more tanky. With this build, you know, him being the only right-click hero on the team, they need him, absolutely need him to have a good start and to go for this build. Hopefully there's a little bit of free time so I can explain a little bit of the strategics behind VP bottom lane. Okay, I'm just gonna try to go for it, but they are gonna go for Fiend Grip on Reeve.
That should be a kill. Okay. Yeah, no. And he waits with a TP on top of that. That really is unfortunate. Hold that thought though, Fluff, because still actually going to continue. Tim's top lane. Going to be run down. Lightning from the auto attack will finish the job. Pasha, he needs to get away though. So does Ramsey, the Death Prophet, sitting on top of the Exorcism and a Crypt Preserve in the face. Takes him out, however. So benefiting the Dire team, but yeah, you're right. He's going to run the wrong direction despite that haste turn. And Pasha, more so good movement by him as well.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Okay, I just want to explain this really quickly. So when teams are theory crafting, especially when a hero like Elder Titan becomes popular in the meta again, people start thinking like, how can we abuse this aura the most? Right now, you mostly rely on it for the magical shred, which pretty much makes all magical damage on top of the astral target, astral spirit target pure damage. So if you just look at the lineup, right, it's all magical damage. Put that up with the pure damage of the natural order. That is like the main theory craft behind this lineup in general. And then of course they'll put the pieces together with how much initiation we need, what kind of lanes, etc. But that's what makes a hero like Leshrac a little bit more viable from this position. However, I think that it's kind of a short-sighted strategy or short-sighted approach because magical damage is easily countered out by BKBs. You know, there's no question about it. And right now, the meta really heavily revolves around BKB core. So I think at one point their strategy is going to fall off. And Leshrac, you know, is a very squishy hero. Right now, only rocking about 866 HP with the Yule Scepter only. So he's very susceptible to being bursted. And, you know, Bloodstone doesn't help all that much, as well as just being kind of an expensive item at the moment.
Speaking of that, Drums was finished on Gyrocopter, so at least going that route first, but he does have the BKB now queued up, so he agrees with you there. Middle lane, Death Prophet. Here comes your Splitter right on top of the setup of the Nightmare and the Fiend's Good. That's going to be canceled up by the Ice Path quickly from Jakiro. Solo now on the run. Astral Spirit being brought back. Cuckoo's running them down. The Tombstone put down way in the back lines, but again, with the lack of overall lockdown, VP can just run, or will they? No one. He decides to man fight right here. He puts down the Nether Toxin, but that's probably the wrong call. He's going to die to the Macropar, it seems like. Tanky, but not tanky enough. Cuckoo manages, well, he will die to the Poison Auto attack, but the Primal Split from Brewmaster chasing out further. So yeah, no one manning up right there. Really backfires for him. Pasha, he finds a solo Death Prophet if he Primal Roar. Support's coming. Are they going to get here in time? There's a Primal Roar Medallion. God, it's a lot of damage with that Medallion. One more auto attack. He gets it. I didn't think he'd get the solo kill, but man, he managed to.
That's a surprising amount of damage just from one Beastmaster. That's the power of Medallion, my god. I really didn't think he would get that as well. It's crazy.
Oh, that kind of makes it a little more even, of course, but still killing no one for his second death of the game. Now the top net worth in the game. That's pretty good still for TNC.
Yeah, and like with this drum spell and the gyro, it just fits their game plan. Mid lane actually, Beastmaster gets caught out.
He's running, trying to. Pretty slow. I will say that where they're lacking stuns, dear God, they have a lot of slows. And so, Pasha cannot really run away. Solo, did he overcommit now? Roger already uses Echo Stomp. He has Earth Splitter in 10 seconds, but Solo, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. Ice Path, it will actually connect onto Roger. Now they're going to run him down. So VP getting caught out one by one. Doesn't happen often. TNC capitalizing, though. And they're going to make it a 3-0. Exorcism is ready. Will we transition into the mid tower? Very likely.
Yes. They shouldn't need to use Exorcism here, which is perfect for them. They're going to be able to use it in the next fight. Ideally, another tower. And the level 2 Exorcism as well. That's really important. I feel like, you know, they should try to react to these fights. Or like bring more heroes to the fight. Like if they surrounded it a little bit more there, they probably would be able to pick off the staggered units, but they decide to just back off because no one is pressuring the top lane and they want to deal with both top and bottom. But another thing I want to talk about too is in this Death Prophet versus Viper matchup, if you know the silence on Death Prophet onto the Viper is not insignificant, that's going to be 6 seconds at rank 4, where the Viper is not able to right click. Basically, just right click that poison attack is not a good feel.
No,
and that's just another disadvantage I see. And if DP is thinking along the same lines, he'll just look to silence him at any point where he sees that he's doing like any significant right click DPS.
Pasha, he just committed a Primal Roar to try to run away and survive. He does have Bane coming over. That could be the saving grace. Nightmare's put up on Dial. I was going to say he probably wants to take it off. He takes a little bit of time. Blink Dagger 1 second. There we go. Primal Split. No, but the Fiend's Good comes out from Solo again. They're not going to turn kill though. Really just doing their best to save Pasha. At least Solo does escape. But Pasha, it seemed like it was a lost cause from the beginning. So good pursuit. Bottom lane, Armel. Not the most lively. Oh, the Echo Stomp kills him. Roger Manning. I mean, he had no choice at that point. He had to go for the play, and it works out beautifully. That with the natural order. Dear God, this Death Prophet explodes.
Yeah, I gotta say, at least VP recognizes on a strategic level what they need to do. TNC, they do have that lack of catch, like we mentioned. It's just pretty much the Yules on DP, and if Minister wants to expel his ultimate for a kill. And Virtus just continues to push out both side lanes nonstop. Wherever TNC groups up, they're going to be pushing the other 2 lanes, and that's exactly what they need to be doing, and not being baited into taking these 5-on-5s where they clearly have a disadvantage. Up till the point where they do get like this BKB on the Viper, more HP on the Leshrac. More importantly, he's going for BKB, which is really nice as well. But you know they do need these items to fight. The hero matchups just. You know, 5v5, if they run to these fights, they're going to lose the fight.
Ooh, smoke play from TNC. I don't think they're saying, nope, looking at the vision of VP, they definitely were not. Roger, he uses Echo Stomp here even. Nope, they want to go for somebody else, though. Looks like maybe Viper. Ooh, this could be a big kill for TNC. If they find him, there we go. Now they see him. Can they catch him is the question. Primal Split is ready to go. No one. They are going to die for a Thunderclap. Goes in with the Drunken Haze and the Primal Split. And on top of him, TP support immediately from the other tank. Can he do something in time? No, we cannot. The Astral Spirit came out, but it was way too late. So yeah, that's a perfect find for TNC. And transitions nicely once again into the mid-tier 1 tower. Over here, what's that about? That's that's just the Storm Bruling trying to catch somebody else. He's going to throw a Bane. And they're going to look to maybe kill him. Shakiro sets up the Ice Path. Cuckoo's running over. Sam H blinks in. Solo. He just says, alright, kill me.
And the mid tower's the night that's 0 gold since the new change. That's
true.
That kind of hurts, yeah. But really nice micro by Sam H, and I have to commend that initiation. That was not a play many players would actually go for. It's highly aggressive, but he knows that he can set up for his team and they're all ready to back him up. And there's a tower to boot, so using the ultimate there is very worth it if they can secure, the kill and the tower. Unfortunately, it is denied.
I feel like Ramses has been somewhat quietly farming away, though, and that is translating into a BKB nearly finished on him. Gyrocopter, speaking of that, does have his finish. He just needs to deliver it, and ideally he'll get that before a fight breaks out here, because that is pretty important, as we stress. Hooded Defiance just finished by Death Prophet as well. 20-minute bounty runes going to be picked up, and the BKB is flying out now, at least. But yeah, Leshrac BKB, is that going to be a really significant item, you think, to Game Changer here?
I don't think so that too much. Like, at best, he's going to be able to run in and kill the supports, but the supports are pretty robust. I think his best kill is the Death Prophet, but if she yules herself, that will buy a lot of time in the fights. It's mainly the only way that he can take the fights. I think if he had a better game, he would choose to go Bloodstone every single time. That's just the much more preferred item build. The stats, the HP, the mana regen, everything about it is just what you want on the left track, but fortunately he does need to go BKB in this game. I do have to say that the VP's doing a great job splitting them up, and even need to pick up on Tim's. Like, I feel TNC is a little lost, like not really understanding how to play this lineup to its fullest potential.
Well, when you poured in all together in group as 5, I mean, bound to get 1 kill at least in turn. Basha? Oh, jeez, that wasn't something. Well, they find him at least.
Yeah. VP's doing this really well, putting them up and making them rotate every single hero to everything. TNC needs to abuse their lineup a bit more. Like, I think teams get really confused when they have these lineups where they feel like everything they do needs to be 5, but the fact of the matter is that their teamfight is so significantly better, at least it was in the early to mid-game stages, that they could just run 4 heroes to push waves out, that have 1 hero pushing out another wave, and that way they're not constantly being shoved in on 2 fronts and actually contesting one of those lanes. Because VP is almost never going to want to contest TNC if they don't have to, but when you run 4 heroes at an objective, it's one way to guarantee that the lane gets shoved out. And that's how you get towards the objectives. That's how you get to the things that actually matter in this game, compared to all these little pickoffs that they're getting. They pretty much only took the easiest objectives on the map. The offlane tower and the mid lane towers, 100% the best 2 objectives to take is the first 2 towers. They got them, but what else? Either you finish up your items or you go for the Roshan. But I feel like what they're doing is they're not allowing some heroes to finish items. They're really giving Gyro all the priority. Once he picks up BKB, they can group up with that BKB. Give Death Prophet a little bit of time for herself. Let her get a couple items. Cycle around. Think about what hero needs something, and then give them some space alone. Bring the majority of your team somewhere, and then take the fight. That's where your advantage lies, and then hopefully transition that to more.
But they do have a really deep ward there at the bottom lane, so maybe that could eventually look to catch somebody with it. But again, we saw them gank the Viper earlier, so plays like that you're getting at would be nice for TNC to make happen. But for the time being, Virtus Pro is somewhat clumped up themselves. They did just get their own BKB on Leshrac. We're talking about Viper. he wants to farm a little bit more. No one's trying to get his own BKB. That's proven to be a very popular item on both sides, understandably, at this point of the game. Tim's, oh, he thinks they may be doing Roshan. That's not the case, though. Yeah, Cuckoo's even to throw in Decay, so they really think they're doing Roshan. But as we see, that's not happening. Although both, they still think they're doing Roshan. Okay, guys, I mean, they're not doing Roshan. Oh, Ramsey's just gonna, okay, now it's very clear they're not doing Roshan because they're picking up a fight. As we see the Flesh Golem activated, but Cuckoo will just melt right after. Anyways, that Splitter stun to lead the way. Jakiro is being slowed down. Oh, the Fiend's grip on the Brewmaster as he went in. Now look at the great ice path on top of the Macropyre, though, coming up for intense damage. However, the old die could not do a damn thing in that fight. So look at picked up the Armel with that exorcism as well as ramming the flat cannon of the Rocket Barrage in the face. You see that AoE coming together for TNC. And a double kill for no one in the midst of it, but man, that was a beautiful Ice Path Macropyre and the perfect placement, really. And they want to try to get Roshan out with this.
That was crazy. That just shows how much advantage they have in the team fights. That was basically the perfect setup. They killed. There's no tombstone in the fight. Huge ability. They get the initiation off on the. They get the sleep off it, and they're able to grip the Brewmaster, hopefully burst him down. But the Ice Path was amazing. That was completely turned it around. And I was questioning TNC's movement a little bit there. I felt like, you know, they could kind of hold their ground a little bit more. I don't know what they're afraid of. Like, if anything, VP running uphill into them, that's probably the best situation for them. So, but they do get away with it in the end.
Well, Undying going to be dying here. Cuckoo finding himself in a little bit of a trap. So nice catch, nice find from Virtus Pro, and now they once again. Now they may actually go for Roshan. We've seen both teams guessing that they're doing it, and we'll land a little bit of poke from TNC, but now we're going to see full commitment from Virtus Pro, and it looks like this time around it will indeed be a Roshan kill. Aegis, Viper, or Leshrac? What do you think?
Oh, definitely Viper.
Well, they give it a Leshrac. Naturally.
I just feel like Viper is the hero that wants to run in, and he is like the tank on your team as well as the one position. Like, if you let them focus and use abilities on him, then it will create space for all your teammates to land their spells. That's the best case scenario for them.
Solo going to be found. Now, if there's any of these targets to be found, of course, by TNC sneaking in, that's the one you want, but still, nice kill from TNC.
That Roshan is insanely important. For a lineup like this, for TNC, when your key strength is the team fight, Roshan is basically the only objective, besides maybe a tier 3 tower, where you can force the enemy's hand. And losing that ability is a big disadvantage for them, because they would have liked to at some point where, let's say they finish their items, they run into the pit, throw down the tomb, and then all these spells come down. They would win that every single time. They're losing that opportunity.
Dying almost found himself in a troublesome spot again, but just to walk away in the trees, has that casual buckler he's sitting on. Going back to Gyrocopter, by the way, we've seen the Ags now being worked on a while. He's almost there, but usually when we see Gyrocopter Ags, it's kind of maybe even the first item pick of a lot. Is this a late Ags? Is this going to be the most effective now, or do you still like the option?
I think Ags is just core on Gyro in general. The sheer DPS output, as well as the synergy with the items that he commonly goes, like Maelstrom, Satanic, it just pays itself off so well, and it helps him farm so much, and the stats are just amazing. So I think people are really coming onto the idea that it can be picked up later, but he mostly just wanted the BKB first to secure the mid game, which was their timing. So strategically, it was the right choice.
Yeah, TNC's had their positives. I mean, they're still up 20 to 19 hero kills, but overall net worth has been consistently in favor of Virtus Pro, you know, going back to about 10 minutes into this game and since then. But it's nothing overwhelming either, and going back to the very beginning of this game that we were both stressing is VP, maybe not on a hard clock necessarily, but they don't want this to go late out for sure. Jakiro is going to be open on Sam H. He'll come in with the Primal Split, so Jakiro's dead. Beastmaster is going to take the initial rock stun from that Primal Split, and he will fall himself. The BKB committed from Raven for this. Playing the Gyrocopter, so far a 1-for-1. Can they catch up to Roger? Doesn't look like it. He's a little too speedy with that Forest Staff, and that's how it will end. I mean, that was a lot committed by TNC. Exorcism, the BKB.
Yeah. That's a massive overreaction. They pretty much blew every single ultimate on a hero, and when you're a Dota team, you need to be thinking about this. When you take a team fight, you don't want to be using all of your key abilities and cooldowns on a hero that already did cast his abilities, because obviously a roar did come out in the Beastmaster. What more will contribute to the fight? Like there are more important heroes to focus down, so they kind of
it's almost like this is what BP wanted, by the way. Sam H, he's gonna end up going down, almost like Air Splitter does connect solo. He baited this out the whole time. Nightmare on himself. Calldown's connecting on MGK, but Fiend's Grip gonna be used on Undying. Viper, he's got a BKB committed. Raven, he's taking those poison attacks. He's trying to get over to the shrine, get it popped. He will survive at the time. Spirit Siphon up on it. No one. Armel pops his own BKB, gets the kill. Ramses, speaking of BKB, he has one himself. He's able to sit on the Magpie as a result. Splitter to take out Jakiro and finish the job there. He has that down ball, gave the full Snowman ticket as well, but the Aegis will be committed now. They take out Bane. Lestrak's coming back up, but he does not have his Viper core. Beastmaster also, he's trying to survive against Cuckoo off to the side. The tombstone's put down. He's going to proper roar and just keep on running. Ramses won't go down a second time, though, as Raven ends up using another BKB charge this time around. That's a 3-kill streak stopper in favor of TNC. Beastmaster may get away, but that's kind of the first fight where it feels like TNC is gaining momentum now.
Yeah, VP felt like because Exorcism down, that's the main way that the Viper will die. But as you can see there, the choice not to put the Aegis on the Viper, like I mentioned, that was a huge deal, because the Viper, like I said, he needs to run in a tank and deal damage and stuff like that. But the second that he goes down, the second that he's split off from his team, that's when Virtus.pro can no longer fight, because now all of a sudden every single hero in your lineup is extremely squishy and vulnerable. And you know, TNC is still very strong in the team fight, so I liked the move by BP, but for the preparation up until that point probably wasn't the best. And this is TNC, you know, without a lot of ultimates. And an even bigger thing in that engagement for me is a much more subtle point, which is Undying went from like level 11 or 12 to level 14, and once he does hit that 15 talent, that is one of the best talents in the entire game. The Tombstone on Death, throwing up two tombstones in the fight, that can be very overwhelming for a hero that, for a lineup that's very single target based, and where their main physical DPS would be the right click of the Viper. Viper doesn't really deal well with the zombies just constantly right clicking him, overwhelming him. And once this Undying gets a ton of levels, these tombstones are gonna go crazy.
It is interesting you point that out, because me personally, I don't know how to feel about talents that are as a result of dying, you know, because obviously Warlock has the same thing. I think it's level 20 with the chaotic offering, and at least hits stuns, you know, when he dies. So I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just a second free tombstone, but it does require him to die in the first place. So it is interesting to think about it that way. But Smoke, TNC, they're coming top lane. They want to at least maybe catch Beastmaster. You see, other Titans also going to be spotted, but they definitely catch the Beastmaster. The yields on up, and Ice Pass set up, easy kill right there. Jumping over here, Echo Stomp, Undying, Air Splitter's coming out as well. They have Leshrac nearby, they want this kill, but yeah, you don't want to overcommit either to a 5 support Undying, and they realize that last second Other Titan not going to be down, though. He tries to get away with the force staff, but the yield will cancel his TP, and Roger goes down. So Virtus.pro stretching yet again to make a kill happen, and TNC just seems ready to react.
Yeah, look at again, another support. The Jakiro is one of the supports that has one of the most broken talent trees as far as 2025 goes. If he picks up this GPM or even the liquid fire attack speed, he feels like it. But more importantly, the level 25, 1.25 seconds on the ice path. It's an insane amount of disable, especially in AoE form.
Well, he's gonna be delayed a little bit longer getting ultimately to that point with a death right there. Nice find with the Fiend's Grip. And of course Jakiro nearby, okay. Or Leshrac nearby.
The fact that they took down this tier 1 tower top without really losing anything on the map, like generally if they went for that tower, because of the nature of the positioning, it's so far away from everything, you know, no one would have been shoving in bottom to tier 2, mid lane would have been pushing in, but because they had just won that engagement there and forced VP back, they did get it for free. So losing a support there does not really matter whatsoever, and it's a lot of map control for them.
Jaro, what is that BKB down to? It's down to 7 seconds now, so still up there, but you see, wait a second, did they change the look of Morbid Mask? Is that like the last patch or something?
I don't think so.
That looks different to me.
A little bit different? Like,
yeah, the angle? It's not like, it's got the face part, or the mouth part of it. Like the mouth guard.
It's something to do with Perfect World where they don't allow skulls and things like that.
Oh, yeah, nope, that's what it is. Anyway, Satanic is coming along for TNC, for Gyrocopter specifically, so That would... Wait, did he get the Ags? Yeah, he does have the Ags on top of that. You like that choice?
On who? The
Gyrocopter, sorry.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. It's like the best item for Gyro right now. Hands down. The DPS output is going to beat everything that you could possibly get. And when you pair it up with the Satanic, like, if you pop Satanic before you get disabled, you will just heal to full, just basically from the side gunner. So it's like an amazing utility in the fights. It's very hard to bring down Gyro in those cases. But, you know, we talked about TNC lacking catch, but these heroes naturally do build into the Yule Scepters. I would like to see a little more mobility, like Blink Dagger or Force Staff. Jakiro is going Force, he's more for the team. I like going the Yules myself on the Jakiro, just really nice setup. Or, I mean, the Blink on the Jakiro. And I also do like the Blink quite a bit on the Death Prophet as well, just for positioning. But, you know, right now they're not really lacking these TP cancels, and that's one of the main ways that VP would play against them, and we do have 15 on Undying. This is where it gets weird. Like, he can die, buy back. Tomb, die, buy back, drop die again, and drop another tomb. It's like these kind of.
I love how much you love this talent, but man, again, to me, it's like he has to die for it to be useful. You realize that, right?
He will die. That's the thing. Like, it's really broken. It's one of the most broken talents. And then once you put it with the level 20 plus 6 tomb attacks, that did not need to happen. It got buffed up from like 3 or 4 or something like that. Some of the previous patches, it becomes, even with the Beastmaster aura, like those supports don't want to be right-clicked the tomb. So if the Viper's preoccupied hitting tombstones, then he's not doing damage to the enemy team, and he's the carry. So
yeah,
I feel like they're gonna have a really big issue with this. Once this guy pops all his abilities, drops the tombstone, he will like willingly die in the fights, guaranteed. And this will swing it very hard.
Remember when that Warlock talent came out, and now with the Undying one as well, it's like the idea of getting a Bloodstone on those heroes, and it's like really running in and sacrificing yourself. Yeah, probably not the best strategy, but...
Yeah.
They're gonna do Roshan.
Okay, this is exactly what they needed. This is... You know, if they had this first Roshan like this setup, they could have had like this... They could have had the 4K advantage right now, or maybe probably even more. That VP does currently have, because it's unfightable, really, unless... they get some godlike Echo Stomp.
Well, there you go. You are right, though. Wow, VP managed to get a decent lead there with net worth. Now down to 3K, but there's a 4K as they kill the bottom tower. So, yeah, sure, they get Roshan, but net worth still remains in Virtus.pro's favor. Now, who got the Aegis? I'm guessing Gyro, yeah. Gyro gets the Aegis. Cheese in the hands of Death Prophet in her backpack. So they'll need to make some moves with that. So... Now, you would think that this would mean Virtus.pro has to maybe fall back, but Ramses, he's just going YOLO, man. He's just pushing bottom lane. Gets all the TPs, though, and he'll run away quickly for the time being. Doesn't seem like VP's willing to back off just yet, though. Okay, now they will.
Yeah, there you go.
They're split pushing a lot. I've noticed that about VP, what they're doing, too. They're really spreading out.
The only issue that I have with this is that I don't know at what point they become stronger in the fights. Like, yeah, this Viper is extremely farm, but at the end of the day, we don't see Viper hard carry games for a reason. He does have certain limitations to what he can, like DPS, or what he can do DPS wise compared to other cores. And, you know, like I mentioned, Leshrac, yeah, like it's a ton of damage, but it's all magical. And when you do have these BKBs up, which they do have on pretty much the most important cores, Death Prophet and Gyro, you're most likely going to just die in the fights or not do too much with your BKB. So yeah, I do question the Leshrac one position a lot in this game.
Well, it's a case of like, and if you're gonna pick it up though, you really need to push that momentum early on, which VP was doing for a bit, but then they kind of started getting caught one by one. TNC obviously made some great plays themselves, and now we're finding ourselves in a 36.5-minute game where it's still a very even net worth game, if anything, and it just goes back. That's not where you want to be if you're Virtus.pro with the draft.
Nope.
Especially the Leshrac cores you're stressing. You now have a Satanic on Gyro, and I was gonna say, I mean, he's getting to a point where we could honestly maybe see the Divine Rapier even coming out, but at this point he's gonna go Butterfly at least for the time being. Roger, he's in a troublesome spot. TP, pretty good. He gets Homing Missile. Yeah, Ice Path not in time. That was really close though. They're still gonna go.
Look at VP's positioning. They're actually pushing it every time.
What is going on? Yeah, literally all 3 lanes are being pushed in behind them. They do have a creep wave though, so no backdoor protection, but you see that Roger clearing out with the Echo Stomp. And Poison Attack's actually doing play nice heals, throwing up in the air. X System is committed from Armel, of course, during this. Cuckoo is also trying to run, maybe block them out. Call down will try to do the same. And now they're going back in, even though when he pops his BKB and he 4 steps away, where he'll be fine. I'm looking at the Dire base now. It doesn't look like really... Okay, top tier 3 took some damage. Instead of the bottom tier 3. Well, that's... I think VP definitely made the best of that for sure.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what you need to do in those situations. And that is the mark of a really good team, that knowing how to react to these kind of deadly base pushes, especially when you cannot fight whatsoever, and I'm sure they recognize this. But also on TNC side as well, knowing how many heroes you need to repel with, keeping back, and how many heroes need to stay at, so that your cores are actually safe. Because they TP one too many heroes, then all VP needs to do is TP back in. They overwhelm TNC, take down their Aegis potentially, or kill a core, and that would be absolute disaster. So the fact that it just happened kind of in a stalemate situation, it does favor VP because they would have ultimately lost their racks, but TNC still played that correctly where they repelled it and didn't lose anything.
Some progress on items here. Not Beastmaster. Brewmaster has a BKB. Beastmaster himself, he went bots and he's actually going Nullifier. So that would be interesting to see on Pasha playing the Beastmaster, but Nullifier against these BKBs especially, heals, etc. Potentially a pretty good item to have out of figure.
Yep, and we're also going to get Blink on VP, which I really love. And I would love to also see the Aeon Disc at some point, but I feel like she might be slot starved, so it wouldn't be a case. I did want to bring up, okay, top lane, we did catch out Electric is going to BKB. No, he doesn't.
Oh, Primal Roar on top of him, but Ramses, he's trying to run now. He uses his own BKB, just going to go for the TP, and they do not have a stopper. I was thinking about it for a second there. They definitely do not. So, he just gets away.
I was going to bring up the Jakiro's 150 GPM talent. He's been sitting on it for quite a while. He's going to go for the Aeon Disc, which I think is a mistake. I feel that at this point, if you can pick up a Hex, that would be really, really big for their team, and especially with dealing with the BKBs. If you can Hex Viper or Leshrac before they get the BKB off, a lot of times by the point they do pick up, or they do activate BKB, it will be too late for the fight, and that would be a massive advantage for teams. But hopefully he changes his mind.
Vlad's picked up by Brewmaster. Speaking of items looking a little bit different, it's funky. Echo Stomp, though, as trying to go for those 40-minute bounty runes. Actually, will still pick it up, but double damage going to be snatched up by Roger, and he'll walk away with that. He's going his own BKB on Utter Titan. You know what? I've seen a couple Utter Titan games where don't underestimate the damage that the hero can do, later on in the game especially, and there's that level 25 talent, 100% life steal. I'm just saying, it's pretty freaking crazy if he decides to go that direction. But, yeah, it's ridiculous. Cuckoo, we're gonna see that talent come into play. Boom! Look at it.
Gonna kill it.
Tombstone, baby. Yeah, that's gold for VP.
So much money if they could do it.
Eventually. God, these zombies. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, it would put him in a compromising position. When do you really want to willingly fight into 2 tombstones?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I'm sold on it now. It's just a great talent.
It's ridiculous, really.
Alright, so they have to back it off. No gold for VP there. But yeah, so go back to Elder Titan. And now, the way he's building right now, he's not necessarily, but there was one game. God, I want to... it might have been Tim's now that I'm thinking about it. There was one from TNC that he built a much more aggressive, right-click style, and it was impressive to watch. But he's going Heaven's Halberd here, which obviously pretty good against Gyro in this case.
Really cool to say the least that the Elder Titan support can go do the right clicks. But right now, Roshan 1 minute. That's a big opportunity for TNC. That's pretty much what they're waiting for. That's the one opportunity again they can force a fight, but they're going to need to create a plan here for dealing with the split push, because VP is not going to relent on this. This is the main way for them to get TNC out of formation, which is the ideal setup for them. We would require TNC to pick up some much more reliable catch items like Hex, even maybe Abyssal Blade on the Brewmaster if he can never get to that point, which probably pretty unlikely. Jakiro did go bot, so in his mind it's more of a TP thing where he could just stay back, but I feel like it's very easy for him to get picked off, and Ramsey is playing so aggressively on the top lane.
So you were talking about the idea that he's going to go with an Ice Path duration, but what would you think about him going that Macropie of Pure and Pierce's immunity? Because there are BKBs over here, and the pure damage is that much stronger for counter pushing, etc. Would it be that crazy to you if he actually went that over the Ice Path?
To me, it would be cravy, yes, because in my opinion, this is one of the best talents in the entire game because it's AoE, because it's like a 3.75 second disable on Ice Path. It's really game changing, because at this point in the game where it's always going to be a late game when you have a 25 Jakiro, every single second matters so much because the damage output is very high. So if he ever catches anyone out with the Ice Path, that's extremely devastating. Whereas Macropire, they have to kind of willingly stand in it, and yeah, it's great for counter pushing, but it's kind of it serves its function already, like in of itself. Maybe not against siege wagons, but that's not really his concern at this point.
Yeah, fair point there. We are seeing more and more 25. Well, we only see 2 25s actually hitting, but more and more coming. But Leshrac, by the way, he went the Diabolic Edict over the Lightning Storm slow, but this obviously gives him more damage throughout team fights in general, let alone for pushing towers. And then Viper, as expected, 120 plus damage talent. That's pretty damn good. Level 25. So he's, he definitely has the ability. Now that he's 25, he is a threat when it comes to his right clicks, of course.
Okay, so now that he's pretty much 6-slotted, aside from his boots, and I imagine he would keep like a boots of travel or something like that, and maybe, well, I guess he could get a Moonshard, but he's pretty much capped out at this moment. He can't go Mjolnir. Actually gonna stick his Roshan.
I'll just take a double damage, says Viper, and
no,
they're not gonna go over. They scan them out, both sides scan each other. Cuckoo, he's just charging in. Cuckoo, that's not the play. Oh, look, there's that tombstone though. They're gonna kill one. Can they kill the other one? Shiva's popping around. Here we go. BKB attack coming across the board. They're going for no. Nice little BKB though. He cannot man fight this, even with the double damage. He has to run away the force tap. Pasha throwing out that ultimate gyrocopter, gonna be killed off in the back line. So the Iron Splitter hit on top of that. You see Jakiro puts on the back of fire. Does the top of the air with the Eels, but now he's just trying to survive himself as well. Viper dies. They're out of Beachmaster. Buys back immediately. Viper has a buyback, choosing not to. Gyrocopter using his. They do kill off Leshrac. He ends up denying himself in the end. For Britus, but back over to Roshan. So plenty of life remaining. Sam H wants more of this. He finds Pasha. He's got that gem, so the Shadow Blade doing nothing for Pasha. Slowing down initially from that Thunderclap. Is out of range of the Shivas, and Pasha will survive as he keeps on running. Can they actually steal Roshan now? Buybacks on both cores for VP.
No, it's the thing is, this is always good for TNC if they get VP off Roshan, because they're the ones who have control of it to begin with. VP doesn't take it all that quickly, and TNC has so much threat on it where you don't even want to take a fight. Like, VP doesn't ever want to be caught in that position where TNC can come in just like that. Unfortunately, the Undying was just a little bit too ahead of his team. If both of those tombstones persist in the fight, it's guaranteed win for them, like, hands down. But, I was kind of sighing a little bit because we did take the Macropire Pierce's immunity. I think that's the wrong choice. But at least he went for the sheep, which is the right choice. And in this situation, that is a must-have. Afterwards, I would like to see him pick up a Blink Dagger so that he can get those Blink Hexes. That's going to be really crucial for them to actually threaten VP and make them afraid to split push like the way they've been doing.
Yeah, I think your logic was great, to be honest. I too am surprised to see Jakiro getting that talent in the end, but it's not like it's just not going to be useful.
He literally might have misclicked.
Want to go with that, yeah.
Sometimes when you're in a fight, you actually accidentally press one of your level up hotkey buttons, and then you're like pressing 1 and 2 sometimes for items or whatever. That happens, but I mean, I can see like one justification, I guess, is that Viper's just very mobile, wants to stand in place. If he does have to stand in place into a Macropire, then like obviously 2 tombstones ideally, he's not going to be able to actually deal with anything. He's constantly going to have to be on the run, and that's exactly what they want. So
yeah,
the Viper himself is going to be really neutered.
Yeah,
and I was gonna bring up too, 'cause the Viper needs to have Satanic. So I was wondering like what his last saw would be, because he needs to be able to stand his ground and right click, and he really has no sustain at the moment. And if he can't right click and stand his ground, then they don't have any damage. But with this Magnifier, like I think it's even gonna overpower the Satanic. That's how strong that ability can be.
Yeah, if you find the right angle, especially where he doesn't have much room, kind of like that last fight, then we saw Viper. He just went full panic mode right there, trying to run, and it wasn't going to happen. So, in the ground from TNC's side, they now have the Aegis on the hands of Tarotcopter. Choose once again. Who got the Refresher shard? It is Death Prophet as well. So he's got double Exorcism, who, by the way, also went the Exorcism grants haste. That was a pretty expected talent there. Naturally, a great one. Yeah, I also like... I am getting more and more sold as this game progresses on the Undying Town for sure, because it does allow him to make plays like that. It almost seems silly what he was doing, but then when he saw what happened, he got Tomb Tutos, and that clearly threw VP off.
When it's level 20, when he's level 20, I think it's going to become impossible to kill. Honestly, I think that talent needs a nerf really badly.
Oh wow, yeah, it's +6 Tombstone attacks. Holy crap. That's one I assume you're talking about.
Yeah, like
over the zombie
there's not many heroes that can actually deal with it. But you have to have extreme range, like a sniper, or extreme attack speed, like a troll, and even 2/4s at that can actually right click through.
Both teams have a Tinker Ward here, but actually, never mind. That might have been a Sentry actually. So, but either way, there is a Tinker Ward there from TNC, and that helps to get the kill on Utter Titan, as he's different. But you know, so it seems like TNC continues making these kills happen. In fact, they're going for yet another one. But Ramses was a little bit too quick, so he's fine. But the net worth lead does continue to be in VP's favor. It up to 6,000 net worth now, and you see the graph here, it's been gradually increasing. So I know we keep sitting here suggesting that on paper and everything, and this should be favoring TNC, but and VP, to their credit, they probably know that as well, and that's why they're just continually split pushing so much. That's their win condition here.
The thing is that they have so much DPS that if they did catch out a hero who maybe bought back and dies, they could really just go for the throne in one single engagement like that. But as it stands right now, it's just because no one and Ramses are farming extremely well and they're playing this game amazingly. But you know, TNC, even 7k behind, they are in the driver's seat 100%, and they will win every single team fight if it goes the way that they expect it to.
So Ramsey's pushing out bottom. You already have Jakira up there, though. And good luck pushing into that, especially with the Macropire. However, TNC is unable to push middle lane either, or at least they don't feel comfortable enough. They're going to fall back, even with the Aegis and the Cheese. And I mean, they have everything from Roshan. Should TNC be more comfortable, you think?
I think so, but they're always worried about how much they're committing. I think because of the fact they have Refresher Shard, they can afford to just use Exorcism, to be honest, and just start sieging the tower. Like get something to happen, because you don't get Aegis every single fight in this game. It does have a duration where it will expire, and that's a big advantage for you. So forcing it there is not a bad idea. It's bad to force it if you really didn't have anything to back it up. But they have so many different things like Refresher and Aegis. Like it's definitely worth it to go for those kind of plays.
The Dire scans out this smoke play from VP, so they're positioning appropriately. By the way, Undying went the Tombstone zombie damage instead of the attacks of the Tombstone to destroy. So
I don't like it that much.
I
feel like you don't lack it. You don't lack the damage, but the effect of the Tombstone is insane. Just the longevity, just keeping them alive.
Oh, here we go, Cuckoo. Suicidal. He's just like, all right, kill me, please. Gonna get the first Tombstone off you, Dan. And there's a second one. And now they're gonna jump on top of that would be Ramses. They're locked down with the second the whole time he fights. They're gonna get the Macropire put down as well. The Beast Group locking on Jarkrap. He's gonna die throughout this. He doesn't have a buyback for 120 seconds. Armelmo is being committed. Siphon on top of someone running him down. Buyback coming out from Undying as well. The sleep on Armel. Not gonna be nearly enough. See the promise put on the backlands as well from Brewmaster. Pasha just gonna walk away once again, though. No one's dead.
Nice play.
And Temps will catch the Beastmaster. Cuckoo's running over to assist the best that he can. Throws that decay to Soul Rip. Nice nullifier, however, on Jakiro. Jakiro's gonna end up falling. Pasha showing that he can man fight this. Yules, yep, they got a sight. Don't even need a Yules, they got a sight ready to go. The Crypt Serum, the gem's gonna drop as well. They do indeed finish off the Beastmaster. So he's dead for 2 minutes. As well, so is Jakiro. I mean, a lot of back and forth right there. Overall, gold swing for TNC, though.
So pretty much the only way that was remotely even close is because the fact that Solo actually has BKB on Bane and he can full grip the gyrocopter down. That was a really, really big deal for them, because if Gyro was able to pop Satanic, the fight's 100% done. Tim's in that last engagement, I do like that he picked the Blink Dagger. However, he got a little greedy there. He didn't use his Scythe device right away. Didn't realize that Beastmaster had a Nullifier, completely locked down the Scythe as a result, and then just got picked off with no buyback. So that's kind of a silly mistake there, but as you can see, like, TNC, even with 7k disadvantage, it's just so easy for them to take the fight, especially when a dying just feels like you can just run uphill to the enemy. However, that was a couple of buybacks, and like I mentioned, BP does have the damage necessary to go straight for the throne if they do find that engagement.
Well, Ramses gonna port back to the bottom lane. I mean, he has 5,000 gold saved up. Is there an item that this Leshrac can buy here that can be a difference maker? I mean, I'm trying to think of what do you buy on a core Leshrac this later on.
I think you potentially sell your Yules, and you can either go the upgraded Dagon 5 route, or you can go maybe like a refresher. Well, those two things will make your kit a lot more robust and scale a little bit better to the game. As you can, you know, with refresher, you're going to be able to double hex, double BKB, which is a really big deal. But with Dagon 5, you're going to be able to actually do consistent DPS and very short cooldown and burst as well, which is really nice.
Yeah. God, let's see, these zombies are farming machines now, man. Just throws out a tombstone in the middle lane, and that talent, they're gonna beat down the creep wave. It's kind of a nice pushing tool. Counter push.
It is, but they know that's, you know, I guess it's not really on VP to force this fight, so they don't have a choice. But I don't really think you do that ever, unless you're clearly going to win the next fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they will, but they'll sketchy.
All right, more level 25 talents to talk about. Brewmaster has the Primal Split cooldown, and I've seen this also with an Octarine core, actually, where it's insane. You pretty much have 100% uptime of Primal Split. It's like a 5-second window or something like that. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, but that wouldn't be the most surprising if he wants to go that way. He does have an AC that he just picked up, though. Be a bit of time before that comes. But tier 2 top, that's going to be pushed in. You see Viper trying to work for a Daedalus. Speaking of more damage, that will do it, but ways, not a ways. Their courier died, of course. They were trying to use it to get to the secret shop, but TNC picked it off, so gonna have to play around that now for the next minute and a half. Leshrac sitting on 6,500 gold.
Like, if you're TNC right now, no buybacks, the gyro can't afford buyback yet, you cannot die. If VP takes the fight here, or if they ever find any opportunity again, they're gonna go for the throne, and it's very realistic that they actually get the win off of that. But look at the Brewmaster just ultimating now, just to push out the wave safely. That's actually really annoying. But
yeah, it's gonna be on what, like a 15-second cooldown or something like that when he comes back together. So why not?
Crazy.
And that's stupid low. Beastmaster, he went his inner beast attack speed. Also speaking of 25, so synergy to work with the Viper. And they're going to try to use that to help kill Roshan. You were mentioning earlier, I mean, BP really likes this Roshan. This is not the fastest Roshan, though. Where's Viper? There we go.
Even if they pick up everything, if the fight happens the way that TNC wants, they can actually win this season.
Oh. The Fire Spirit going to be flying in. Toss up on Ramses, but immediately brought back down. No one possibly speaking. He's going for Death Prophet, but he's not doing a damn thing either. Pincher is locking on the Death Prophet. Has Earthsplitter in the midst of it. Undying's locked down as well, but he's got the Tombstone down. The exits are flying around. The uncontrollable damage is doing so much. Viper, he'll end up falling yet again. Buyback is running back. Ramses also locked down. He got the Aegis, of course. That's going to be activated immediately, though, and I don't think he's getting out of this one. He's going to be killed off again. He's dead for 90 seconds. Viper buys back because he pretty much has to, as VP is going to pick on Jakiro, but now Elder Titan, Armel's just going to find him. Exorcism, the Ghost still ticking him away, and Sam H will finish the job with a blink for it. So more buybacks, this one coming up from Elder Titan. Jakiro did as well, but TNC can go cutthroat now. Maybe even try to finish this game.
Oh yeah, they refresher shorted Death Prophet. She has the Exorcism once again, so they will not lack the damage, and the Primal Split is no cooldown whatsoever. They should be able to go for some kills and prone hopefully here. I don't think they need to DPS the Rags if they don't want to.
Yeah, that's... yeah, Brewmaster's like, guys, just go for tier 4. The Ghosts may finish the Rags in the end. Looks like they will, but they're going to go for tier 4. And, you know, Let's dead for 45 seconds. They clearly don't have a fight in them. I mean, they're going to try, because why not? Last stand of sorts, but TNC on their way to taking game 2 and forcing that third and final game here in this best of 3. And the last stand is happening. Beastmaster, Primal Roar, but Death Prophet, they just can't even touch him. Even as the cheese, just in case. So tier 4 is going to go down. Primal Split once again. And TNC will take game number 2 against Virtus Pro. I mean, well played by them, no doubt. VP had some moments in that earlier game where, you know, they were getting a little bit too spread out, getting caught one by one. But you definitely got to give credit to TNC.